A rousing applause greets our athletes here for the opening round of match play in the U15 boys and girls divisions at the 2018 Junior Gold Championships presented by the brands of Ebonite International. We are at Forum Bowling Lanes in Grand Prairie, Texas. I'm Aaron Smith with USBC Communications, and once again joined by EBI staff player Ronnie Russell. Welcome back, Ronnie.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Thanks for joining us here. We're into match play. A quick rundown of how this is going to work. It is double elimination. These are going to be 2-game matches with total pinfall determining who moves on to the next round. We're having 2 rounds tonight. And unfortunately, we're going to say goodbye to 4 players. At the end of it, we'll be down to 12 in the boys and the girls division, but a new pattern, new players. We have a pair of 2 versus 15 matches. On the boys' side, Solomon Salama, the 2-time defending champion, is the 2 seed. That's a lot of 2s right there. Is taking on Silas Lira, the number 15 seed. And on our girls' featured pair, J.L. Hammond, the number 2 seed, taking on Natalie Kent.
Daughter of the great Doug Kent. PBA
Absolutely.
And USBC Hall of Famer, I believe.
You are correct, good sir. So these players got 5 minutes of warm-up prior to the start. Once again, 7th pattern they've been on this week. This pattern's going to stay the same, though, so they finally get a pattern that they get to see a few times now at the same place, but definitely a different environment heading into match play.
Good start there for Cyrus. Sporting the interesting dude. Got the blonde working on the front.
Got a little bit. We can go back a few years, you know, the old frosted tips, perhaps, but the kids do it differently nowadays then.
We call those the Wadka tips.
The Wadka tips.
The Wadka tips, yeah. As he's watching right now.
Hi, Dave.
Another good shot here with Cyrus. Starting off with the 2-bagger here. Natalie Kent picks up her 4-pin.
Takes the early lead after a split from JL.
So the drama has been set. Brandon Bone and his partner are going to be a pretty interesting match down there. Should be lots of excitement.
A few pairs to our left. Also on the boys pair, a pair of teammates actually facing off in the 8-9 match. Spencer Robarge and Brandon Bonta, part of 3 Rights Make a Left, who are going to be making the USA Bowling U15 finals. So one of those talented players will be heading to the elimination bracket after this round. So in the early going, Ronnie, what do you see from our 2-time defending champion here in the boys pair?
He seems to have his lines a little wrong here. He missed head pin the first shot, got it pretty wide at target, and then tried to square up a little bit and roll it, and it was offline. It was right off his hand. So I wouldn't say it's jitters. I just think he just needs to get his feet under him a little more, and you know, it's a 2-game match, so you can still be patient. Just needs to feel his way into the match, hit the 1-2 a few more times, and just see where it goes. I think he'll be fine, though.
Certainly familiar with the rigors of this format. As the 2-time defending champion, knows how to get through these games, find a way to win.
Bowling next to them, you have Jordan Malott, son of Wes Malott, so I'm sure he'll be back behind him, giving support. Solomon with a nice strike there, so going to get into it here early, and I think that I think no matter how the start goes, Solomon's going to be really hard to beat.
JL, once again, talked about she enjoys being able to play the gutter, being able to play further right, and she's kind of exhibited that today, even though we've seen different patterns. She's found a way to kind of get further right, kind of get in her comfort zone to start.
Yeah, Natalie's a little leftover, so she's not really going to have to move much. The only thing she should be aware of is Natalie being able to hook it off her spot she's creating. So I don't know if she'll pay attention or not, but I guess we'll see her in a minute. The one thing about Silas is he's getting the ball over the front of the lane a little bit, so his ball is really saving energy. And as I told you earlier in the broadcast, the front of the lane here hooks quite a bit. You know, it's a little bit beat up, and getting that extra 2 or 3 feet down the lane really helps.
Early.
So 4 perfect shots.
Early 4-bagger. Showing no intimidation facing the 2-time defending champ. But at this point, you know, these young athletes, they're ready. They've gone through the rounds. And they get to bowl so much across the country, too, that they've probably done this once or twice before.
Yes.
So already familiar, not intimidated.
The trip 3-pin. Still working on things, maybe battling a few steps in his approach right now or something, but shakes his head and still has a 2-bagger.
Natalie gives a few pins back there from the early open.
How many 2-handed left-handers do we have in this top 16 for the guys' side? 4.
One.
We have 4 left-handed 2-handers.
That sounds right. Yes, we have obviously Solomon, Sydney from Germany, 1 pair to our left. We have Dio, who was the top overall qualifier. He had a big final block to get there. And then Spencer Robarge. A quarter of the field, 2-handed lefties. And then we leave out the natural lefty, Brandon Bone, as well, so 5.
But I'll guarantee you Brandon has more fire than all of them. He is an intense little guy.
There's a video up on social media right now from USA Bowling where he is getting worked up. He's not afraid to get into it, show a little emotion.
The Jersey way.
The Jersey way.
All right, looks like Natalie got her feet under that frame a little better. Every now and then, us as bowlers, we have that one frame. It's just like, what was that and where did that come from? And maybe that was her one. At least she got out of the way early. It was on a strike, so I mean, it didn't totally kill her.
Back on it in the 4th. JL looking for her first strike, as Silas records his first non-strike in the 5th. Looks like a pretty good shot right there.
I can't help to notice the bend in her arm. I mean, it gets in a kind of a crazy spot. Definitely from back here. It's a really straight swing, but it looks like her elbow bends the wrong way at one point.
It does.
That's just a ton of flexibility. That probably is the reason why she's so loose and just soft at the bottom. Jordan Malott looks like the double here to take control of that match so far. This left lane's doing exactly what it did earlier. The front of the lane hooked just a touch more. When they move in off of it, it's going to keep hooking. Then they're going to end up being too deep, and they're not going to get the ball back to the pocket. Something about this left lane. Like I said earlier, I'd like to see the girls use a little bit weaker ball, maybe a little less core, a little less cover too.
We'll watch the adjustments in the upcoming frames. Once again, 2-game total pinfall matches. So not the quick sprint of a 1-game match. And at the same time, you don't necessarily get to give away frames if you're finding yourself out of a match to kind of find something new. Every pin counts. That's Solomon. No doubter right there.
Got a little 4-bagger here. Did get a good break in the 4th, but he's capitalized and taking advantage of it. So Justin Bone is supposed to be giving us a few updates from the his brother's match, and let's hope he remembers, as we are, you know, a solid 23 lanes from there.
Yes, it does certainly feel that way. I know a few folks in the chat asking for updates, and some of the matches you are asking for are as humanly far away as possible at the moment, so.
Oh,
wow.
Goodness. Wow, wow. And Silas, being a good sportsman, gives him 5 anyways. That's good to see. We know deep down.
Oh, yeah.
That hurts.
Nothing.
That's what good sportsmanship's all about right there.
Just gotta take it out of focus.
So yeah, Solomon didn't mean to make that pin do that. I mean, it just happens sometimes. You don't win these things without a little bit of luck. I mean, it takes a lot of good shots and just a little bit of luck. Looks like a better shot. Hook a little bit. There it is.
Mixes it up after the open in the 5th. Finds herself down here at the halfway point of game 1.
Just like that in this match. Starts off with a 4-bagger, balks, goes 9 spare, 9 spare, leaves a bucket and chops it. And now we have a lead change.
And quietly, the 2-time defending champion has taken advantage of a few breaks, and that's the thing champions do, though.
Yes, sir. Great shot there by Silas. Come back. You know, I will say, in matches like this, for some reason, even if you don't strike in the right lane, that left lane strike is always really important. So just set yourself up, come back here, take a breather, refocus, and get up there and make the next shot. It's pretty exciting to see how long Jordan Malot's arm is through the ball. It's just like his dad, super long through it.
And he's a player that we've seen kind of grow up here in the junior gold program, and he definitely wasn't that tall the first time I saw him.
I mean, I remember a few years ago he was shorter than me, and now he's like a head taller than me.
He's hard to believe under 15, or most 15 and under.
Most of these kids are 15 under and a head taller than me, though, so not really saying much, though.
All right, Solomon stepped off the approach. Something didn't feel right. Backed it up, reset.
It's a big shot here. Just to make a statement and say, I'm going to make the shots. And his ball just, it doesn't look like it's right. It looks like it's a little over under for him. If he gets it left, it doesn't want to get there. If he squares up, it overhooks in the front. But, I mean, he's still grinding, and he's up in the match by 8.
And in a situation like this, I feel the name goes a long way, especially with younger players, that he knows the pace of this type of match, what it takes, and
sure.
where Silas might be, you know, the quick 4-bagger, guy get on him, and then we'll see how he responds here now that's a little bit tighter of a match.
He's the guy to beat right now in this age group, for sure. I mean, he's been there twice, and that means a lot when you're bowling. You know he's not going to make too many mistakes, and the best thing to do when you're bowling someone that is really hot at the time is to just put the blinders on and bowl against the pins. Look up when you're done and see what happens.
Looks like Solomon's going to go up first. Natalie will be far right of your screen. Make some dance.
Natalie with a great little double to get back in this.
Just like that, brings it to 5 pins.
One thing about her, she never falls off a shot. Just like her father, standing right behind us.
Dougie Fresh.
One of the best physical games ever in the history of bowling.
4-time major champion.
So it looks like Silas has had to move left a couple boards, and now his ball's in oil, and it's just stretching out the lane, so it's not quite getting that entry angle that he had. And that's probably the reason for that little flat 10 pin he left. As Natalie goes up there and makes a great shot on the hooking lane, and there's a 9 pin. That lane is going to determine that match, 100%. Right now, Natalie has the best look on that lane. It's just about her making shots.
Definitely make a slight adjustment off that.
Oh no, Natalie.
The spare ball has caused her some trouble here in this opening game.
Yeah, looks like she's probably going to be down roughly teens of 20 here, but it's a 2-game match. A lot of time left. As you see in the Masters and the Queens, people could be down 80 pins going to the last game and turn it on, and a few splits later, and it's right there. That might carry. Ooh, it almost got there.
Breaks up to 210. Silas is going to be 212 with the strike. Solomon 245 still out there with all 3 in the 10th.
Looks like JL just got that one a little firm and just kind of blew it through the break point in the right lane. But I'm very curious to see what kind of move she makes in the left lane, because she has to move.
And she gives the single pin right back. Now just a 6-pin match heading into the 9th.
I don't know if you noticed, but did you see how much her plastic ball picked up in the track area? The track is really, really dominant in this building, and I think that has a lot to do with the surface itself and the lane surface in the front and on the track area itself. It's really beat up, and it makes the balls pick up and hook. She did not move. She absolutely did not move. This is when, as someone watching, I just want to go down and help her, but then it's an unfair advantage. So. She just needs to move a couple boards left and just find some more launch pad, and her ball will float right there.
Now, as a player, sometime when you're kind of have an A game you like to stick to, how much trouble can you get into trying to force something because you want to stay out there versus doing what the lane tells you?
Just depends on how stubborn you are and how good you are at your A game. There's a lot of guys that are equally as good as their ABC and don't have one real hard or good string. I guess that's a good point that you bring up, is you always want, I think it's better to have your A game super strong and have okay B game and C game. Because like in bowling, it's hard to win. You really, really have to take advantage of when your A game looks good. So I think having an important A game is everything when it comes to winning. Now, there's been a few bowlers over the history of time that can go over and win with any of their games, like C, D, E, Norm Duke.
Norm, of course, yeah.
Parker, Walter Ray, Pete Weber. Like, watching those guys not be comfortable but still win, there's only a handful of people that can do that.
Solomon covered the 247, so he's going to be in the 220s. He's going to have the slight advantage heading into game 2.
Looks like Jordan Malott is going to be up about...
It's about 90 or so.
Yeah, about 90 pins. So, good start there for Jordan Malott. Nally picks up her spare this time.
No problem there. 168 her max score.
So, I mean, at worst here, she's going to be down a few pins, and sounds like Doug's going to have her get another ball in her hands, or tell her to move, one of the two. Anything he says, I would listen, though.
Yes, that is a nice luxury to have in your corner.
Still no Justin Bone update.
He is.
Where's he at?
He might lose his award as the.
Maybe he's down there repping his brother.
He could be. Then he wins the award again.
Yeah, Natalie moved left. Tried to find a more launch area on that lane, and I think the fact that she is moving left is what we talked about earlier. Doug thinks 3 to 4 frames ahead, so he knows the front of that lane's on fire. So he's already trying to prepare her and get her in there.
JL steps off the approach for a second. She's going to reset. Washout for Silas.
A little frustrating for Jordan. He almost threw it in the gutter. And when you're leading by 90 pins and 1 game to go, all you want to do is hit the head pin every shot. Looks like her bowling ball is just a little bit stronger now. She seems to take just a tiny step left. I'm not really sure if anybody's helping her or who's watching her. Just get her a touch left.